This tree is Fraxinus angustifolia Raywood Ash, and it is probably the most popular ash used currently. This is 2011 and has been for the last 20 years in the area I work in. I'm in the Bay Area and San Francisco area, and I'm in an inland valley in Pleasanton, and it gets in the 90s consistently during the summer, so we have hot summers and cooler winters. High 20s are our lows for the winter typically, and so this is used quite a bit by designers. It has a very vertical stature, as you can see here, and has a nice consistency. This designer has used it as a perimeter planting around the entire property, and one of the nice things about it is its consistency. You see these three trees right here together all look the same and haven't been pruned. These are probably 15-year-old plants, plus or minus a couple of years, and they are about 30 feet tall right now. And I've seen older plantings of these certainly, but you know, the book lists these at kind of 35 feet mature height. I've seen these probably go another 10, so I'd say they're closer to 40 to 45 feet when they're fully mature. Also, width-wise, I'd say you're looking at a 18 to 20 foot wide spread on this right now. Okay. And the spacing, if you're thinking about how far away to do, these are about 25 to 30 foot on their spacing. So here's what I can tell you about this. I don't use ash anymore as a designer, and the reason why is they're usually too much tree for what I'm doing. Now, these trees look beautiful, they're healthy, they're doing what you would hope a tree would do when you select it in a design. Again, it gives it the consistency they're looking for. It gives a nice break between the street and the building, and I just like the continuity of it. So the downside to ash trees is almost all of them that I've ever seen have pretty shallow and extensive root systems. Almost any time you use a tree that is as fast growing as an ash, and by the way, these are very fast growing, they just seem to go hand in hand, where the root system and the growth of the top are fast, aggressive, and large. And I see that over and over. We just had a job where we took out an ash, Raywood ash, and it had a root that was 12 inches in diameter that had lifted the old patio up, and there was no way to design around it. It was a smaller space, and we couldn't go around it, we couldn't go over it. Everything about it was a problem, so we had to remove the tree. So that's very consistent with what I've experienced with these trees. Is if you're going to establish them, I would say the way to use them is in areas where you can establish them on deeper water, so you're not spray irrigating the bed they're in. So if you're spray irrigating, like right under this tree for those shrubs, they're going to find the water on the surface, and they're going to come up and hang out in that zone, whether you want them to or not. So if you have a bigger planting area and you can stick these in there and give them some deep water to drive them down, or the roots aren't going to matter because of where they're at, I'd say that's your best bet. I wouldn't use them in this situation here. Now, they don't seem to be having any problems with the roots. Let's go take a look at that. But to me, it's risky, and I've seen more often than not where it is a problem. So I'm just not a fan of using these this way. Let's look at the foliage here. Now, these have a seed on them as well. You see those little seeds? And I didn't really know they had a seed, although ash trees are kind of known for that. And then secondly, beautiful bark. Look how smooth and clean that trunk is. And then, like many ash trees, these sucker Now you see the leaf on that is different than its leaf on top. A lot of times when you have varieties that have been hybridized, if they're grafted, they'll have a different root stock, and that looks like that's the case here. So again, I don't see really shallow roots, and that's a good thing. It does show that it's possible to achieve that with this tree. These have amazing fall color. It's I'll show some pictures of that, but it's kind of a red wine color, a deep burgundy. It's really beautiful, and that's what they're known for in the fall around here, is their amazing fall color. There's nothing quite like them. It's a very deep red. And the other thing too is I have seen some kind of crown issue with these, with more mature trees that are in kind of a stress situation, where the crown up in here is getting dieback, and we'll see entire chunks just die out. Here's a Raywood ash that has the crown issue that I was telling you about. You see how half of the crown is missing? Fairly common in our area. I'm not sure what causes it, but there's an example of about a third of the crown died and has broken off. Here are some more mature Raywood ash. This tree is at least 40 feet wide and 40 feet tall. And this is an older landscape well. I'll tell you what, just from the mounds that are through the lawn, that was done a lot in the 80s here in Northern California. So I'm guessing this is about a 25-year-old plus tree. Anyway, still fairly healthy. They've opened it up inside. Good looking tree, and out of all the ones that are in this area, they look very healthy overall. Now they're planted in a lawn where they get a lot of food and they get a lot of water, but I wanted to show you the root system, because again, when you plant trees, especially ones that are vigorous like this, in a lawn situation where there's shallow water and food, they're going to develop a significant root system in that area, and certainly that's what's happened here. What's good about this is they've been able to keep this lawn alive for over 25 years, even with this very shallow root system. I mean, that root right there is about 4 to 5 inches in diameter, but very shallow. And as you can see here, these run all over the place. So just be aware that anytime you put a larger tree in lawns, there are very few that are going to run all their roots down deep, because they're just chasing where the food and water are, and in a lawn, that's right on the surface.